So our next is Assistant Professor Elijah Olakunle, and he'll be talking about AI tools for accelerated research in artificial intelligence of things. I'm just going to allow him turn on his camera and then go right into his presentation. After this session, we would have a joint session, and after a session, please kindly just make your way to the main hall where we'll have the final session and the closing. I might not be in on his session with you because I have a panel discussion with the secondary side. So I'll be going in for that by 3:30. So Prof. Elisha, you can go ahead and just have your session. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Rotimi.
You might want to share your screen.
All right.
Turn on your camera, please.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Yeah, we can see you now.
Okay, good. So, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. So once again, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Olakunle Elijah. So I'll be talking about AI tools for accelerated research in artificial intelligence of things, what they call AIoT. All right. So maybe some of us are already familiar with what AIoT is, and if not, I'll take the time to quickly introduce us to it, and then we move into what we have for the day. So please, can you confirm if my slide is working as appropriate? So I should be on my second slide now that says, who is Dr. O. Elijah?
Yes.
So is it working? Sorry, I didn't get that. Okay, I presume it's working. All right. So just a little bit introduction about myself. So my name is Dr. Olakunle Elijah. I'm from Ondo State. I'm currently based in Kaduna State, and I'm an author, I'm a researcher, I'm a teacher, I'm a farmer, I'm a founder, I'm a lecturer. So I happen to do so many things almost at the same time. I have the privilege to teach people right from basic, from nursery school. I teach in the primary school. I teach students from secondary school, and I also lecture in the university. So currently I'm with Maryam Abacha, American University of Nigeria, Kano State. Okay. So like I said, I'm an author. So I've published several articles, and then this is my Google Scholar account. In case you want to see some of my research work, I'm open to collaboration. Or if you're doing anything related to my research interest, which is wireless communication, Internet of Things, machine learning, embedded systems, data analysis, you can reach out and we can see how we can work together. All right, so let's move on to what we have for today. So my talk for today, we're looking at three main areas. One is to help us understand what AIoT is all about for some of us that we are not familiar with that area. Then understand some of the research in AIoT applications in particular. Then how can these AI tools, so we have been exposed to several AI tools in the course of this conference. And so I'll be talking about just one of them, which is ChatGPT. So sorry, my chickens are making some noise. That's the challenge of a farmer. All right, so let's go into that. So for the outline, so I've broken this talk into three main parts. The first part is going to be just introduction to AIoT. I'll make that as brief as possible. Then research in AIoT applications. Then, like I said, I would show us how we can use ChatGPT to do a lot of things when we're working on research in AIoT related areas. So what is AIoT? All right, so I was able to join the talk right from the morning session, and it was good to listen to some of the speakers, like Dr. Bosede, Asst Prof Isaac, Mr. Isaac Bankole. Then for the afternoon session, I was able to listen to Prof. Sam Move, and also Mr. Sam Adeniyi. So it's good to see the Psalms. It's like some of these Psalms are quite intelligent, listening to them. So I'll be bidding on some of the intelligence of the two speakers, Prof. Sam and Mr. Sam. All right, so okay. So can you all still hear me? I think I had a glitch now. Okay, are we still together? All right. So when we talk about AIoT, AIoT is just basically the infusion of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. When we combine AI and Internet of Things, then we have what we call AIoT. So basically, what is IoT in the first place? So IoT is what enables you and I to be able to participate in this conference. That is ability for our devices to connect to the internet, and we can devices that can communicate with one another without human intervention via the internet. So we have various areas where IoT has been playing its part. So we have ability for our phone to maybe communicate with the healthcare systems. Our phone, we're able to communicate with our farms, do some industrial automation, and even with our health, we are able to put on some gadget that allows even our doctors to be able to monitor what is going on in our body. So all of these are made possible with the help of Internet of Things. So there are a lot of technologies that have been put together to make this work. So I won't want to go deep down, but this is the whole idea about Internet of Things. So ability for devices to communicate with one another over the internet without or with human intervention. All right, so coming to the infusion of AI. So with IoT, I can easily monitor if my light switch is on in my bedroom or in my sitting room. I can switch it off. So that is basically automation, access to my devices. I can control them, I can visualize them, but technology has gone beyond that. Now we are looking at an era where these systems or devices are becoming smart themselves. So they know when to turn off themselves, and they know when to switch on themselves. So that is where AI comes in. So AI has been integrated with some of these devices in order to make them smart, so that they can analyze things, data, they can learn from the data, and they can make some intelligent decisions either with our intervention or without human intervention. So that's basically what AIoT is all about. So you find that AIoT is being used in several fields now, which I will talk about in a minute. Okay, so in terms of research in AIoT applications, all right, so AIoT is being used in several research fields now. And in fact, if you're a researcher or you're working in the university and you want to look for areas of research, either for your master's, your PhD, or even for your postdoctoral programs, or even as a publisher, I will advise you look for how you can deploy AIoT in some of these fields. So first is agriculture and food systems, okay? So we're looking at the use of AIoT for crop disease detection via images and IoT sensors, precision irrigation and fertilization, okay? Aquaculture fish health monitoring, so ability to deploy systems that can monitor your fish pond, your fish health, and all of that. Food safety is another important area now, where most of our foods are laden with heavy metals, and that is causing some cancerous diseases and all of that. So research is going on in that area on how they can use AIoT to detect contamination in our foods, in our water, and so on and so forth. And there are several AI tools out there. So we have the TensorFlow Lite, the PyTorch Mobile, Edge Impulse. So all of these tools are helping to deploy AIoT in some of these areas. So other areas are the health and biomedicine. So ability to remotely monitor a patient, okay, with wearables. Early disease prediction for IoT health data. So maybe prediction of pandemics and all of that. Elderly care with smart homes. So ability to detect, what's happening, predict what's going to happen, forecast what's going to happen in our health homes and all of that. Another area is the smart cities and urban systems. Okay, this is particularly interesting: traffic congestions prediction and smart traffic. So nowadays, our smartphones can predict if there's going to be a traffic holdup, based on previous data and things like that. So that's an area of application. Then energy optimization in smart grids. Okay, disasters, early warning systems for flood, fire, earthquake, and all of that. Then we have smart cities and urban systems. Okay, sorry, that's a repetition. Okay, so let me just go over to the next slide. Environment and climate. So we have air, water pollution detection using IoT and AI forecasting. Climate smart agriculture. So I think the buzz of in digital agriculture now is climate smart agriculture. So if you're looking at working in the areas of agriculture, so I'll encourage you to focus on climate smart agriculture. This is where AIoT is really, really needed. Okay, so ability to predict if the amount of rain, predict if when to plant, predict or forecast diseases outbreak and things like that. So using climate information, you can do a lot of things now in the area of smart agriculture. Disaster early warning systems, biodiversity monitoring with drones and IoT sensors. Okay, and the other part is security and defense. Okay, so AI-based IoT intrusion detection systems. Okay, so nowadays you can set up your own AIoT in your own house to monitor when the doors are open, closed, and based on that, you can predict some useful information. Okay, not just for our physical buildings, even for the cyber phase where we have secure IoT communications with blockchains and AI. So ability for our systems to detect, monitor, and also predict with some of these tools is what AIoT is all about. And these are some of the research areas. So we have different tools out there that can help us to work on these different AIoT research application areas. So now having understood some of what AIoT is all about, some of the areas where we can deploy AIoT. Now let's look at accelerating research in AIoT. So some of us that are working with some of these AIoT research tools, we go through what are broken down into about 5 different stages. Okay. So first, you want to identify your research gap, and I'm glad Asst Prof. Sam Mobi spoke about that in details. So we can start by identifying the gaps in those areas. Okay. Then from there, we go into identifying the components we need. So for those of us working in these areas, you are not just working with just softwares. You might be having to work with hardwares as well. So your hardware, do you want to purchase them? Do you want to build them yourself? So if you're building them yourself, what are the components you need? If you're not building them yourself, what are the tools you can buy, assemble to get your data and to deploy to your area of research? So again, the AI can help us in that process. The other part is to build the hardware. So like I said, some of us, we have to build our own hardware maybe as part of our research scope. Okay, so in that case, how can AI help us, to know what components to put together, and how can it help us to build it? So I'm going to demonstrate some of this very quickly within my time. Then after building your hardware, you gather your data and analyze. Okay, so that's where you're looking at what is the best algorithm to use for analyzing your data, what is the best machine model to use for predicting, forecasting for your AIoT device. Okay, so we'll look at how AI can help us also in that area. Then finally, you've done all of this. The next thing is publish your work. And again, I won't be talking much on that because Asht Prof. Sam has spoken on that. So, but maybe I will just give us some hint. All right. So again, all of these, we have tools that can help us to fast track things, to accelerate things. Okay. So let's move further into each of these. So like I said, I'll be showing us how we can use ChatGPT for the accelerated research. Now, all of this we can do ourselves because before the advent of AI, or before AI became a common thing now, most of this research have been done manually. Okay, like you want to get your research gap, You have to go online, look for Google Scholar, type in all your topics with your keywords, make all of those searches. And but thank God we have some AI tools that are making life easier. So what should have taken us maybe weeks, months, if not years, we can easily do them within a short time. So I'll be talking about basically on ChatGPT. So there are different AI tools, but I feel ChatGPT is about one of the easiest one can access. And although it's got its free and subscribed version, but I think the free version is still good enough for some of our research work as related to AIoT. So now I'm going to suggest, so I've written out a topic here, which is AIoT-based early warning systems for tomato disease outbreak. So for us who are in Nigeria, we know we face this a lot. Sometimes you feel that you see the price of tomato has skyrocketed, not because there is no rain or what, but because of some disease outbreak, this thing becomes so expensive. So how can we deploy some AIoT device that can help us predict disease outbreak? So this could be a research topic for maybe master's, or if you're doing your PhD, or some other form of research, or you're applying for a grant. So this can be a very good topic. So the first thing is to try to review existing work based on AIoT-based early warning systems for tomato disease. So I've written out a prompt here, like our previous speaker spoke, Mr. Sam. So some of these prompts, you may need to try them out until you find out the best way. So this prompt might not be the best, but at least it gives us some point to start from. Okay, so here's a prompt. It says provide a critical review of existing work in IoT-based early warning systems for tomato disease outbreak. All right, so if I let's see what I have here. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to ChatGPT quickly so that you can see what that is able to bring up. So can you see my ChatGPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So I've provided the prompt in my ChatGPT, and this is what it brought out under 14 seconds. Okay, so the good thing is it brought out a lot of details, what the literature does well. So talking about certain literatures, one lead visual diagnosis is accurate and all of that. Critical gaps, recurring weaknesses. So some of the issues or weaknesses of current literatures, early warnings, early detections, dataset bias, and limited external validity. So you can see, so it gives you some information there, and that helps you to sit down and analyze, synthesize, and get out your information. Okay. So design recommendation for next generation. So again, it's able to like point out some areas of focus. So talked about federated and offline first operation, especially now it's talking about West Africa, Nigeria. So it's able to like streamline my response based on my location, because ChatGPT is aware of my location. So it's able to like streamline for my own. So in case it's not able to detect your location, you can narrow your response to maybe for Nigeria, or for northern part of Nigeria, or southern part of Nigeria, or wherever you are located. Okay, so this is good. So it's a good point to start from. So with this, I can sit down and analyze, okay, these are the areas, these are the places, research gaps, and things like that. Okay, so that was the response from ChatGPT. So the next response I provided was like, provide a research gap based on the literature review of published works with citations. Okay, now it gave me a general information, but for us as researchers, we need to be able to benchmark our work based on existing works, right? So I decided to go a step further, and let's see what it asked for me. So it talked about research gap. Okay, I wouldn't have time to read through all of this, but at the end of the day, I asked it to summarize everything in a table. So it was able to do that with the key references. Okay, so it's able to tell me the area, detection approach, current status in literature, identify gap in that particular literature, and all of that. So again, you may want to double check these citations to make sure they are correct. So you cannot rely on ChatGPT to be entirely correct. All right. So based on this, I can now go back and see, okay, which area do I really want to focus on in terms of my research. Okay, so I go back to my slide. So that covers the aspect of literature review, identifying the gaps and all of that. Then let's move on to how the AI tool can help us identify some of the components needed for this particular research. Now, for me, I'm conversant with some of these tools like the Jetson or Nano. So I work on building a lot of gadgets and all of that. So Raspberry Pi 5, I know I work with Raspberry Pi Pico 2W, so I have all of these kits. Based on my own knowledge, I'm able to like come up with my architecture and all of that. But let's see what ChatGPT may help us with, because we can also use that in case we don't know what components to use. So we're talking about prediction of disease outbreak in tomato. So what are the parameters? What are the sensors I will need for each of the parameters that I need to monitor? So again, this is where AI comes in. We just go back to ChatGPT and let's see what it asks for us. Okay. So I said provide hardware component in there to design the AIoT. So based on our previous conversation, so again, it's able to come up with some areas. If you're looking at core field nodes per plot, like greenhouses, okay. It's able to tell me what kind of microcontroller I could use, ESP32 or Raspberry Pi Pico W, okay, which has some features of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It tells me quite a lot of things here, okay, which is quite good. And so based on this now, I begin to get an idea of what components I get and all of that. So then what kind of communication technology I will need, all right? So am I going to go with LoRaWAN gateway? Okay, so for those of us who are in wireless communications, we know about this, or we want to go with the NB-IoT or the cellular, or we just want to use Wi-Fi for deployment of our AIoT kit, all right? So, okay, so for those of us who have background in electronics, so you will probably find this very helpful. And even those of us without background, it gives you an idea of what you are going into. And with this information, you can begin to speak with those experts and say, okay, I'm trying to work on this research area. I've got some information. Can you please verify and all of that? Okay. So the good thing about the ChatGPT is it helps you to categorize your components into 3 different areas. So it's, if you're looking at low cost of pilot, or you're looking at the standard AIoT device, or you're looking at your research grade, okay, something more expensive. So it's able to like categorize different set of tools, components for you. So going forward, so all of that is there. So again, it not just stops there. It can ask you to help you to prepare the bill of materials. It will help you to give you the cost of all the items, so that let's say you are preparing for a grant. Based on this, you can know, okay, this is going to be the estimate of how much the cost of components and everything we amount to. So I said provide a low cost using Raspberry Pi Pico 2 with all the necessary sensors. So again, it's able to do that for me. So look at all the so if I'm using a Raspberry Pi Pico 2, I need to measure the air temperature and humidity. I can use my DHT22, leaf wetness, soil moisture, soil temperature, DSB. So all of these sensors is able to like suggest them to me. Okay. So having done that, then let's go back to the slide and see. Okay. Okay. So based on that, I was able to come up with something like this. All right. So these are what the ChatGPT suggested. So I went ahead, did my design. Okay. Connected all my components and all of that. Okay. So it doesn't just stop there. So let's say you've arrived at all the components you need, and you can build them yourself, which is good. If you're not, then you can get somebody to build it up for you. If you cannot find somebody to build it up for you, then you can contact me. I can build this up for you within a very short time. All right, so you do all of these, then the next thing is we need to write our firmware, that is the code that runs on our microcontroller if you're using this particular microcontroller. So again, the AI is there for you to help you out to write all the codes. Unlike before, where we have to write the codes by ourselves, AI can easily do that for us nowadays, okay? So what I need to do in terms of prompting, so I just copy all these prompts. So because I already designed my AI, I know what pins they are connected to on the Raspberry Pi Pico. I know my OLED is connected to GP0, GP1. My SD card that logs my data is connected to GP14, 15, 12, and 13. My rain sensor is connected to GP16. My temperature, atmospheric pressure, humidity is connected to GP0, GP1. My light intensity sensor is connected to GP0, GP1. My soil moisture sensor is connected to GP26. My buzzer is connected to GP28, and my real-time clock is also connected to GP0. So once I know all of this, I just give it to ChatGPT. So I will say, provide the MicroPython code for Raspberry Pi Pico 2 based on this connection. All right, so let's see what ChatGPT is going to come up with for us. All right, so so this is the bill of material it was able to generate. So I gave it this code for it to generate the source codes or the firmware that I will use for my microcontroller in order to achieve this particular task. All right, so again, you can see, so it tells me, yep. Then it's able to develop the code for me. So what I need to do, just copy this code. I go into my Tony IDE, I put it there, then I begin to troubleshoot, test run, and see if it gives me what I want. If it doesn't, I will bring back the errors, push it back to it. Can you adjust this? So you find that by the time you go forth and back, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, you have a complete working system that is able to do what you want to do. All right. Then moving on from there, okay, so firmware working. Then once our system is up, the hardware is connected, so we can begin to get data. So without data, then our AI is useless, all right? So we need data. So I can set up my AI, AIoT hardware device to get data, maybe for, depends on what kind of research I'm doing. So if I'm, for this particular research, I could set it up and get data for maybe for the first set of tomato plants I'm going to be experimenting with. So I get enough data from that. Then from there, I will now go into the second phase, which is using the AI to train the data and develop my machine learning models. So again, we can use ChatGPT to help us out with the best machine learning model. So we can ask it to predict, or sorry, to suggest the best machine learning models out there that would give us a good forecast in terms of the tomato diseases. So what you could do with that is, once you've collected enough data, arrange your data, whether in Excel or whatever, you attach it to ChatGPT and you provide it a prompt. So ChatGPT will analyze your data, and based on your data, it will suggest some possible machine learning models that you can use for this particular research, right? So here's a sample of what it has done. So to tell you, but again, why this is good, you still need some basic knowledge, fundamental knowledge. So in my own case, I use this as an assistant, so it helps me to accelerate my work. That's why I title the this thing as AI for acceleration of research in AIoT. So you need to be conversant with some of these frameworks, pandas, that helps you deal with data, some of the machine learning libraries, sklearn, and things like that. So even if you are not, but you should be able to use them. So this will only generate them for you. Then you still need to go back to your whatever IDE you're using. If you're using VS Code or whatever, Spider, whatever IDE, integrated development environment you're using, copy the code, put it there, do your training. Then once you do your training based on data, the results, maybe you're finding difficult to understand your results. Again, you can bring it back to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, that's the result I've got. You attach it in whatever form, either as an Excel file or as an image file. Then you ask ChatGPT to help you analyze the result. So again, ChatGPT will help you analyze the result, and it can help you get a better understanding of what your machine learning model is doing. So after all of that, the next thing is to deploy that machine learning model back on your hardware. Okay, so we have tools like Edge Impulse, which can help you easily do that. So again, you just need to create an account with Edge Impulse, learn how to do your connection, configure it, and do it. If you don't want to use Edge Impulse, again, you can ask ChatGPT. All right, so I'm using my Raspberry Pi Pico 2W. What's the best way to deploy the machine learning model? So again, it's going to give you some instructions which you need to follow and that helps to simplify your work. All right, so after all of your research is done, your machine learning model is working, your device, you're able to deploy it, it can predict, maybe you want it to give you 1 week prediction if there's going to be tomato outbreak based on weather conditions, all right? So, or 2 weeks forecast, so you can deploy it and all of that, which is good. So the next thing is for you to publish your results and findings, okay? Again, I wouldn't be talking much on this because a lot have been said on that already. So you can deploy, ask ChatGPT to help you come up with, let's see, provide a structured draft for publication in IEEE journal based on the topic. So if you do that, it's going to help you structure your paper, give you a draft of your paper, which let me see whether I have that on ChatGPT. Okay, so you can see right from the identifying your research gap, literature reviews, your methodology, the implementation, developing your codes, doing your analysis, the ChatGPT can assist you to make your work faster. So ordinarily, if I were to do this without the ChatGPT, maybe it could take me months. But these days, with some of these tools, under 1 month, you can even finish some of these research work. And what will take you time is the time to collect your data, or if there are mistakes, errors in your data collection, then you can begin to fix that up. So let's see what it gives us based on that. Okay, so this is where I asked you to suggest machine learning model to forecast the tomato diseases outbreak. So you can see, okay, so some of the features: temperature, humidity, rainfall, soil moisture, light intensity, time and seasonal features from your RTC. Okay, your target variable, all right, which is the diseases risk index, 0 to no outbreak and 1 to outbreak, or probability of outbreak. Okay, so it suggested some of the machine learning models: logistic regression, random forest classifier, gradient boosting, all right, LSTM. Okay. So again, it doesn't stop there. It gives you a workflow on how you could implement once you have your data. All right. So you can see all of this is there. So you can see it makes life much easier. Of course, not just it makes life easier, then it gives you better understanding of what you are trying to do. Then deployment on a Raspberry Pi. Okay. So it tells you how you can deploy the machine learning model. Once you are okay with the result, you can deploy on the machine, on your Raspberry Pi Pico. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Then the last part was where, so you can see there are a lot of codes. So again, you need to be conversant with Python, so to be able to use some of these things. Otherwise, the AI could be there to help you out, but you might still be struggling. So the knowledge of Python is very important. So I say to most of my students, right from primary school, because I do that now. So I teach students in primary school Python, secondary school Python, university Python. So you need to understand the basics first before you begin to say you want to use AI. All right. So okay. So let's look at where I asked you to structure the paper. So again, yep, you can see it provided the abstract, keyword, helping to structure based on IEEE paper format. So this can be a starting point. So from there, it's up to you. You can further begin to adjust, remove some things, put some things. So again, you can't just copy this and submit to any journal. It won't work that way. So you still need to follow the normal rigor of writing your paper. All right. So yeah, so another thing that this also helps you do, so which is the last part before I round up. Let's see. Okay. So now let's say you finish your research work, right? And you've been able to generate your manuscript. Now you're not sure what, so you're about to submit to a journal. But sometimes we have that self-doubt, right? You don't know whether the work you've done is good enough for a particular journal, especially when you're targeting journals like Q1, Q2. So they are very critical about what you submit to them. So you have to, number one, make sure that you do your AI check before you submit. All right. You also do your plagiarism check before you submit. So you make sure that whatever you're submitting is within the acceptable limit of most of these journals. So that is where, in as much as AI is there, it's just there to assist to make work faster. So you still, I personally, when I get information from AI, I don't just copy and paste into my journal. No, I try to paraphrase in my own writing. I just allow it to give me my information as much as it can, and I put it into my writing. Okay. So after you've done all of that, then you want to submit. You can still ask the ChatGPT to critique your work, to identify the weaknesses in your work and the strength. Okay. So this is very important because before other reviewers will see that, and some of these reviewers nowadays also use AI to review whatever journals or articles or manuscript that have been sent to them. So before they do that, you do it yourself. Allow the AI to critique your work. So it will help you identify the strength of your work. It will help you identify the weaknesses. It will help you identify areas you need to improve upon. So maybe your results are not strong enough, or your experiment is not strong enough. So it will suggest areas where you need to improve on. So, and I can guarantee you, if you're able to address some of the areas the ChatGPT is able to identify as weak areas and areas he has suggested upon, then if you can work on that, you have a good chance that whatever you're submitting to any journal will be accepted, provided it's within the scope of that journal. All right. So in summary, I've talked about what AIoT is all about, research areas in the application of AIoT, then how the use of AI tool can accelerate our research. All right. So at this point, if you have any questions, I think we can use the remaining time to interact. So maybe I'll be able to answer some of your questions. And in case where I cannot answer, I can always provide my contact details for you to reach out to me, and we can see what we can do. All right, so I pass back the time to the moderator.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of the entire TTC, the audience online and on site. So we'd like to quickly take questions. So may I just confirm if we have questions here on site and online? Okay, you have. Please, can you confirm?
Thank you very much, Doctor, for the very wonderful presentation. We've learned a lot of things from this, especially the prompting aspects. Please, my question is, from what you've done so far, you use the ChatGPT to actually guide us on how to go about our research, which is a very good one. But please, can you actually use the ChatGPT from A to Z in your entire work? From the beginning to the end? Can you actually use it without really your own inputs? So that's one thing. And if you can use it that way, can you actually cite it as one of your sources or reference or something like that, please? These are the two pieces that I have. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Can I respond to that, or we take more questions before I respond?
So I appreciate you respond to this first.
Okay, good. All right, so thank you for that question. That was a good one. So the question is, can we use ChatGPT for the whole of our work from the beginning to the end? I would say yes, if that is going to save you time, resources, energy, yes, you can. But bear in mind, the ChatGPT is only there to assist you. So like I said, you can just go to ChatGPT, put in your questions, whatever it generates, you copy it and put it into your paper, and you feel you have done some research. That may really not help out. So just like Prof. Sam mentioned earlier, so let's say you ask it to help you do some literature review, identify current trend in this, let's say in this particular research topic, that is prediction of tomato diseases using AIoT. So it's possible that it generates some research outcomes or some publications or some references, which may not be adequate. It may not be adequate. So it's just there to assist. So from there, you pick up those information and you go and build on it. So it's, when you build on that, then of course you feel, okay, it's good enough, then you know you are done with that aspect. Then before you move on to the next step, maybe to help you design your circuit diagrams and things like that, or to help you generate your firmware. So yes, I would say it's possible for you to use ChatGPT right from thinking of what to do, your research idea, whatever you feel. Sometimes you have this thought, but by the time you interact with ChatGPT, you ask a lot of questions, you interact, just like they've mentioned earlier. So it can become your supervisor, you interact, you ask questions and things like that. It opens up a lot of things. Then from there, you can decide, okay, this is where I'm going to go to and all of that. So I think, yeah, if you can use it for all of your research work, please do, unless you feel you just need it for a particular aspect of the work. Then concerning the other aspects, so can you cite ChatGPT? Yes. Yeah, so I think with ChatGPT now, it gives you that a little icon where if you want to cite it, let's say you feel you've taken up some work that is relevant. But before I'll ask you to cite ChatGPT. So let's say, for example, ChatGPT did some analysis of literature review for you. So you don't just take that and put it into your work and cite it. No, it doesn't work that way. So what I would suggest that you take the references that's provided for you. You do also your own review, do your own work based on that. Then maybe in terms of some frameworks, all right. So you could that ChatGPT generated for you, which you cannot cite. You cannot find any reference, as to cite it. So then you can use ChatGPT. But if ChatGPT has gone to take some references, done the work for you, I'll rather encourage you to go to the original source and provide those citations or references from there. Unless you are taking maybe an image, maybe ChatGPT design an image for you which you feel is unique. You don't want to reproduce that, then why not? You can cite ChatGPT. And just like I think this is Sam or Professor Sam mentioned, so in the process of you submitting your papers, you must indicate whether you used AI assisted AI assistance in your work. So before you submit, so you need to declare that. Say, yep, I've used ChatGPT for as an AI assistance for this particular work, and I think that will be fine. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I've answered your question based on my response. Please let me know if that's in line with what you have in mind. Okay. So any other question?
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Do we have some more questions? There's no indication on the online audience, so I believe there's no question. No one is raising his hand online. And that's about it here. So,